Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV Babagbagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Yoruba group sues Southwest Edo Kogi governors over kidnapping, banditry and terrorism. Governors OK plan to sell all 5 power plants. Withdrawal limits, I am not available to brief you. Emefiele writes reps. IPOP sit-at-home order has affected completion of second Niger bridge. We are not accepting new Naira North because its lights not fully in circulation. Gunmen attack Kogi police patrol team, killed 2. Foreign story, Taliban suspend Afghan women from university education. On sports, Super Eagles would have been embarrassed. Siasia need the news in detail. A pan-Yoruba group, Yoruba Koya Leadership and Training Foundation, YKLTF, on Wednesday dragged Southwest governors to court over the state of insecurity of the inhabitants of the region. The group also joined Kwara, Kogi, and Edo states with substantial Yoruba-speaking people in the suit. The group's president, Otumba Deji Oshibogun, and director of media and publicity, Ambassador Degbola Sonyolu, said they resolved to take the legal path due to the seemingly lackadaisical attitude of the governors towards the plight of the citizens in the state in the area of security. The plaintiffs in the suit IB/CS/189/22 filed before the Federal High Court Ibadan Judicial Division included Mr. Deji Oshibogun, Professor Bisi Shoumi, Mrs. Ronke Okusoya, Senator Olatokunbo Ogunbanjo, and Mr. Olakunle Oshuntokun as the registered trustees of the Yoruba Koya Leadership and Training Foundation. The defendants are the governors and Attorney General of the Southwest states as well as Edo, Kogi, and Kwara states. Moving on to the next story on the world news. The state is set for sale of 5 power plants. The Director General DG Bureau of Public Enterprises BPE, Mr. Alex Oko, said in Abuja yesterday. These follow the agreement reached by the federal government and the 36 state governors on the proposed plan to sell off the 5 National Integrated Power Projects (NIPPS). The expected 260 billion naira proceeds from the sale will go into next year's fiscal plan, the BP boss told reporters. Oko said the bidding process for the plant could reach the final stage before the end of this year, with the pact coming after the governor's initial opposition. The 5 NIPPs being managed by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company (NDPHC) belong to the federal, state, and local governments. They are located at Geregu, Ajaokuta, Kogi State, Omotosho, Ondo State, Olorunshogo, Ogun State, Calabar, Cross River State, and Ihobo, Edo State. Some analysts and civil society organizations, CSO, have argued that other plant franchise to private investors for management have not significantly improved their performance. Moving on to the next story. Gùnm Emefiele, the governor of the central bank, has yet again neglected to show up before the House of Representatives to discuss the CBN's cash withdrawal restriction policy. The CBN governor stated that he is now abroad on business in a letter that was prepared by the Deputy Governor of Corporate Services, Edward Adamu. He promised to get in touch with the House at a suitable time. Regrettably, the governor is unavailable to brief the House of Representatives at this time because he has other scheduled official engagements he is currently addressing abroad. Accordingly, he has requested that we respectively convey his inability to honor this invitation on the rescheduled dates. The governor regrets this and will contact the House of Representatives as soon as possible as he returns to the country from his official assignment, the letter read in parts. Moving on to the next story from the world news from BGI TV. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, on Wednesday stated that the sit-at-home order by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOP, contributed immensely to the seeming delay in completion of the second Niger Bridge project. Fashola made a disclosure when he appeared as a guest on Channels Television Sunrise Daily. He said this date keeps shifting and people must remember that on the eastern side, our contractors have not been able to work Mondays for almost 2 years, and that has affected the completion date. According to him, while construction workers work on Saturdays, a 52-day loss cannot easily be made up for in construction work. The minister further asserted that citing other challenges linking the relocating transmission line connecting the east to the west across the Niger Bridge and river contributed to days lost and added to the snag that affected the early completion of the bridge within the time earlier stipulated. Speaking on finishing the last 4-kilometer stretch of the road in 4 months, Mr. Fashola said the construction is taking place in a marshland, and as such, there is great need for dredging and sand filling, process which he says cannot be rushed. He emphasized that the reason the ministry and its contractors have made great progress on the road so far is because they have employed the use of fabricated vertical drains which accelerate settlement and drainage, and as such, workers can start building quicker than would ordinarily have been expected. Moving on to the next story. 6 days after the new Naira note went into circulation, some traders still find it hard to accept as a legal tender. The newly redesigned 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, 200 Naira bills became legal tender on December 15th. On October 26th, CBN Governor Gùnm announced plans to redesign the denominated notes, saying the old note would cease to be legal tender by January 31st, 2023. Sofiat Balogun, a food vendor at Sele Egbe bus stop, Egbe, said she would wait to accept the new notes. People say that the money is not fine and it's not everywhere yet. I will not accept it until it is fully in circulation. I do not want to start accepting it, and when it's time for me to spend it, it will be difficult for me. And secondly, I have seen on social media on viral video of a fake note with 1,000 Naira. This makes me even more afraid to accept it, she said. Emma Jackson, a fruit seller in Eli Ewe Market, Egbe, said she had refused to accept the money because the notes were too light. Moving on to the next story. The Kogi State Police Command lost 2 officers when the patrol team was attacked on Wednesday by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. The command's public relations officer, William Aya, in a statement said the attack on the police patrol team occurred along Agbaja Road, Lokoja, where the hoodlums emerged from the bush and attacked the team after they arrived for their routine patrol. However, the command lost 2 of its personnel during the gun duel with the hoodlums as they fled before the reinforcement team arrived, Aya stated. He added, the Commissioner of Police, Kogi State Police Command, CP Akim A. Yusuf, immediately redeployed a team of tactical operatives to the area while trailing the hoodlums to apprehend and bring them to book. The Commissioner was said to have further directed the Deputy Commissioner of Police investigation to commence investigation into the incidents. Moving on to the foreign story for the world news this hour. Afghanistan Taliban government has banned all female students in the country from accessing university education in both public and private universities. The indefinite ban was the latest Taliban clampdown on the rights and freedom of Afghan women, according to CNN. The order given on Tuesday was with immediate effect as a decision reached in a cabinet meeting. Afghanistan's Minister for Higher Education, Neda Mohammed Nadim, signed a statement which put the university education of Afghan women to a halt. You all are informed to implement the mentioned order of suspending education of females until further notice, said Nadim. Girls were already barred from returning to secondary schools in March after the Taliban ordered the closure of schools for girls. The fresh suspension on female university education has been greeted with backlash as the Human Rights Watch said it's a shameful decision that violates the right to education for women and girls in Afghanistan. And finally, on sports. Former Super Eagles head coach Samson Siasia believes the Super Eagles would have been disgraced at the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The Super Eagles failed to qualify for the Global Soccer Fiesta after losing to perennial rivals Black Stars of Ghana in the playoffs. The Atlas Lions of Morocco made history at the competition by becoming the first African team to reach the semi-finals. Current African champions Teranga Lions of Senegal made it to the second round. Cameroon and Tunisia, although failed to progress beyond the group stage, recorded victories against former champions Brazil and France. Siasia dismissed talks the Super Eagles would have done well if they had qualified for the Mundial. We would have been embarrassed out of the World Cup with shocking scorelines, Siasia told Football Live. The Super Eagles have no business going to the World Cup, and losing out to the Ghana team we played against is enough proof. That ends the world news this hour from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Yoruba group sues Southwest Edo Kogi governors over kidnapping, banditry and terrorism. Governors OK plan to sell all 5 power plants. We also brought to you as regards the new Naira notes. Withdrawal limits. I am not available to brief you. Emefiele writes refs. And finally on sports, Super Eagles would have been disgraced and embarrassed, Sia claims. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. Good evening.